An old man slapped the pregnant girl for smiling. The girl keeps smiling and starts telling the old man about the man she met in a shabby pub. The old man interrupts her by shouting. He tells the servants to lock her in the basement. The girl walks to the basement on her own. She refuses to be married off for the sake of money. Moreover, the one who committed matricide should be buried alive. 6 months ago, the girl left the mansion because the old man wanted to sell her off as a concubine to Count Bubo, who already had 3 concubines. The girl runs in an unknown street. She watches a man facing the wall. She decides to help him. The man asks to find a place to stay the night, and the girl agrees. They both go to a hotel. The man thanks the girl. The girl's asked to return the favor by sleeping with her. The man is confused and thinks that she wants to create a political scandal. The girl says she needs to do the deed to get revenge on someone. The man agrees eventually. The girl did not know that this one-night relationship would change her life completely. She was used to men beating her, so this was a brand new experience for her. The next morning, a servant enters the room. The man wakes up, but the girl is nowhere to be found. She did not even say her name. The man finds her interesting. The man tells the servant to find the woman. The man wants to meet her one more time. The count arrives in the mansion. He sees the girl, Lady Corinne, and finds her attractive. He wants to marry her as soon as possible. However, Corinne reveals that she is pregnant. The count leaves in a fury. Corinne laughs. The Viscount slaps her in the face and threatens to sell both Corinne and her child. He tells the servants to lock her away and to not even give her a drop of water for a week. 3 years later, Corinne is cleaning the floor in maid clothes. A servant comes to her to tell her that the Viscount is calling for her. The Viscount calls her filthy. He says that she is now much better than her arrogant self. He finally found a place after 4 years to buy Corinne. Grand Duke Bastard Cayenne is looking for a marriage partner. There are rumors that he's a murderer. However, the Viscount got a hefty price for her. He tells Corinne to not mess up this time or he will sell both Corinne and her baby to the brothel. Corinne enters the room. Her child Needy calls her. He was waiting for her to finish work. Corinne tells Needy that they are going to leave this place. Needy becomes excited. Corinne is determined to do anything for the sake of her child. After a week, a carriage stops in front of the Grand Duke's mansion. Corinne and Needy step out of the carriage. A group of servants welcomes them respectfully. The servant says that only those two are allowed into the mansion. The servants that come along Corinne are not allowed to enter. Corinne and Needy take a walk from the gate to the mansion. Needy is excited as he watches fountains and flowers. Vincent, the head butler, greets Corinne. Vincent tells her that the Grand Duke is waiting for her. A voice from behind negates Vincent. He says he's here. Corinne is surprised to find that the Grand Duke is the man she slept with. Corinne recognizes the man, but there is no reaction from the Grand Duke. Corinne remembers that his eyes were a bit injured that night. The two greet each other. The Grand Duke thinks that Corinne is scared of him as she has no emotion on her face. The Grand Duke states his conditions that there will be no love in this marriage. There will be no ceremony held and they will just sign papers. Corinne will be staying in the building at the back of the estate. The great Grand Duke cannot read her emotions. He thinks that he might be wrong about her being intimidated. He further says that she'll be given a separate group of maids and servants. If she wishes to go out, she will have to inform the butler and the coachman. Corinne requests to just stay with her son without any servants. The Grand Duke is taken aback. Corinne agrees to all his conditions, but asks just for this favor. The Grand Duke agrees. Corinne excuses herself from his presence. Grand Duke Bastard finds her demeanor strong. He is reminded of the lady from that night. He searched the whole country but could not find her. He finds that she had the same build as Corinne. Corinne calls for Needy and Bastard looks at her son for the first time. He finds that Needy has the same red eyes as him. Red eyes are rare. He finds it intriguing. A man takes Corinne to the side building. The building is not too far from the main mansion. He asks Corinne if she is sure of having no servants around. Corinne says it's fine. He introduces himself as Oslo. He is one of the vice captains. He tells Corinne that the knights will take turns to ensure his safety. If she needs anything, she can tell them. Oslo takes his leave. Needy loves the new home and is very excited. Corinne is determined to raise him in a peaceful environment. The head butler asks the Grand Duke if it's okay to let the lady live without any servants. However, Bastard does not care. He thinks that Corinne is pulling a stunt and she will be able to handle it. He says that she will beg for servants when she gets tired of taking care of herself. The butler says that the marriage is not a battle of wits. The Grand Duke negates him, saying that everything in the world of marriage is a battle. The butler thinks that there will be a day when the Duke comes to regret such words. He hopes to see his grace defrost. Corinne tells Needy a story in the night. She tells him about a princess and a cursed prince. The princess saves the prince, but the monster is too strong, so the princess and the prince are allowed to be in love just for one day. Needy is still awake and excited. Corinne asks why he's not asleep yet. He says that their new home is so beautiful that he cannot fall asleep. Corinne asks if he's curious about his father. Needy is shocked to find that he has a father. Corinne tells Needy to keep it a secret as his father is cursed by a toad monster. She says that the story of the princess and the cursed prince is actually about his father and her. She further tells him that the man that they met in the morning is his father. Needy is sad because his father did not recognize him. Corinne says that he is yet to escape the curse of the toad monster, so he cannot remember them. She tells Needy to keep it a secret until he becomes a knight and kills the monster. Needy is determined to grow up quickly and become a knight. Corinne thinks that everything will be exposed one day. 1 month later, Corinne is sleeping in the bed and Needy urges her to get up and feed the fish. Corinne insists that she's still tired. Needy calls her a sleepyhead and rushes to the pond alone. He's gonna feed the fish, drop the peel into the pond, and he starts crying. Then he suddenly remembers Oslo. He proceeds to find Oslo. Duke Baxter returns from a long trip. The butler says it's good that the urgent task was done. Duke Baxter says that a war could break out in the worst case scenario. He enters the mansion and looks at Needy. He wonders what he's doing alone. Needy is crying. Duke Baxter remembers the boy's name being Nietsen and calls him that. Needy is startled and falls down. Duke Baxter wonders if he looks that scary. He asks the boy if he's alright. However, Needy keeps calling him Dad in his mind, but thinks that if he calls him that, the monster will find him. Duke Baxter asks if he's hurt. Needy stands up, shouting that he is strong. The Duke asks him what he's doing here. Needy calls out Oslo's name. The butler tells him that Oslo is doing his task outside. Needy is worried about his peel and starts crying loudly. Duke Baxter is shocked to see the child cry. Duke Baxter asks the butler why the child is crying. However, the butler has no idea. Duke Baxter picks Needy up and hugs him. He asks the reason for his crying. Needy answers in broken words. Duke Baxter does not understand him, but decides to help him. Needy calls him uncle and shows him the way to the pond. Duke Baxter is shocked to be called uncle. He finds the kid to be too late and asks Needy how many meals he has in a day. Needy remembers the Viscount yelling at him for eating too much and tells the Duke that he eats 1 meal per day. Duke Baxter is shocked to hear that. Needy thinks that 1 meal per day is also unacceptable and says 1 meal per 2 days. The Duke is even more shocked. Needy becomes confused and says 1 meal per 3 days? The Duke asks the servants to be called, but the butler reminds him that there are no servants in the side building. Needy takes the Duke to the pond and shows him his peel in the pond. The butler tries to help, but the Duke says he will do it. He takes the peel out. Needy thanks the Duke. Duke Baxter tells Needy to call him for him in need. Corinne is calling for Needy. She finds him near the pond. Needy tells him how her uncle helped him. Corinne greets the Grand Duke. Duke Baxter finds her sick and cold. He asks her about their meals and tells her what Needy told him. Corinne says there's a misunderstanding and tells Needy to tell the truth. Needy says that if he tells the truth, he'll be yelled at. Corinne says that life is different from the past. Duke Baxter is very shocked and asks about it. However, Corinne says that Needy is just confused. Duke Baxter decides to check the kitchen. The Duke enters the kitchen and finds only meat and vegetables. He asks Corinne if she cannot cook with any ingredients. Corinne says to buy more next time. Duke Baxter finds it odd for a noble lady to cook. He tells Corinne to have servants and maids, but Corinne negates. Duke Baxter tells the butler to prepare food for 3 because they are going to have dinner together. Corinne and Duke Baxter sit for tea. He asks her about the finding a teacher for Needy. Corinne thinks it's too early for him. Duke Baxter says that he should learn basic etiquette and speech as they will have meals together. Corinne asks about this change in behavior. Duke Baxter says that he does not wish to be called uncle when Needy is his biological son. Corinne tells him to just spend time with Needy and leave her out of this. She does not want to be noticeable. She will try to teach Needy to not cause any trouble. The Duke asks if she doesn't want a private relationship with him. Corinne agrees and Duke Baxter becomes furious. The butler arrives and tells them that the dinner is ready. Corinne excuses herself and goes to her room to sleep. On the dinner table, Needy tells the Duke that her and Corinne only gets up to cook meals and lies on the bed otherwise. In the study, Duke Baxter tells the butler that Corinne might have mental problems. He met a man like that who was strong but killed himself in the prison. The butler tells the Duke to be kind to the Duchess. Duke Baxter reluctantly tells the butler to free his noontime from tomorrow. The next day, Corinne is shocked to see the Duke at the table. He tells her that they will have mealtime together. In the morning, Needy gets ready for school. Corinne tells him to listen to his teacher and keep studying. Needy tells her to have enough meals. Duke Baxter appears and tells Needy not to worry, he will take care of her when Needy is not here. Needy leaves happily. Corinne greets Duke Baxter. Duke notices her uncomfortable expression. He remembers the butler telling him to be kind and friendly to the Duchess, to not yell at her, and be a gentleman. Duke Baxter invites her to the flower garden with a smile despite being angry. Corinne asks for what? He says that she will know soon. Upon arriving in the garden, Corinne notices a set table. Duke Baxter politely offers her to sit. Corinne asks if he has something to tell her. Duke Baxter says that they're just having breakfast together. Corinne again asks for his kind behavior. The Duke says that they are a couple, so they care about one another. Corinne tells him to ignore that. Duke Baxter says that he is not such a cruel person as the rumors say. Corinne reminds him that he wanted her to be quiet. Duke negates this by saying it does not mean that they have to treat each other like strangers. Corinne says that she is willing to play the role of a wife in front of others. She asks if the Duke is afraid of her. Duke Baxter does not say anything. Corinne leaves. Duke Baxter returns to his study. The butler inquires about his time together with Corinne, but the Duke is not in a good mood and tells the butler to not talk about it. He says that it felt as if he was talking to a soulless doll. The butler tries to advise him, but he does not listen. Needy is leaving for a special education event. Corinne asks if he'll be able to sleep alone. Needy says he will not cry because he is strong now. Duke Baxter arrives to see off Needy. Needy leaves and Corinne also wants to excuse herself. However, the Duke holds her hand and asks if they can talk in private. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and press that bell icon to know about our latest videos.